Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. I am the Crypto Crow. It's 11:14 a.m. and I am live this early afternoon. Generally, I go live a little bit later, but I figured, you know what? My wife is dragging me to the gym for the third day in a row, and my body's pretty wrecked, so I have to get out there and do it before I convince myself it's not a good idea. So we're going to cover what's going on. I'm going to share some ideas, and here we go. I am currently in a long trade in Bitcoin, but we'll see what happens here. Fair Desk being my sponsor, there are definitely bonuses and things associated with signing up under the link below. I am definitely working on getting much more active in trading. I'm in a trade right now. It was up almost $300, and I think basically what I think may be happening is I am expecting to see a push to somewhere around 40 grand, and I could be very wrong. But I think if it happens, it may very well happen this week. We'll see. This could completely reverse on me, and we could be in a Monday pump for a Tuesday, Wednesday dump. So it's going to go either way. I'm really not 100%, but I'm betting on it. And we'll see. The high of last week was around 37.5. We're just under that, or not 37.5. Where is this? This wick is at 37.9, almost 38,000. And so, we might see some resistance there, and we might bounce off of it once and then break through it on the second or third time to see, $40,000 Bitcoin. And I'm putting my money where I think that is, but we'll see. Cardano is pumping a bit. And it's interesting that Cardano is actually pumping with everything else with Bitcoin's price, because typically that doesn't happen. But we did get this golden cross, and it's basically saying, here we go, we are up for a pump, and it hasn't really happened in quite a while. We crossed down back in June, and we basically have gone down since, and then we started our way back up in this grand descent. Very happy to see that in Cardano. So much going on with Cardano right now. And it's funny because as the bull market rears and as we get closer to the halving, we start seeing so many different narratives related to Cardano, for better or worse, depending on what camp is putting it out there. But we've been under this for quite a while. We did cross a bit over here, and we pumped up for a little bit, and then we came back down, and we've just been kind of chopping in through here. Originally up at a high of 45. That's kind of a local high of Cardano at 45 cents. And I think we're pushing back to that. Hopefully we're going to use 45 cents as support rather than resistance as we continue moving into the halving. But I do think we're likely going to see some sort of pump. Even if Bitcoin does end up breaking 40,000, I think it's very likely that once that does happen, I don't think we stay. I think we get a pullback at the $40,000 level. I think that's going to be a really key number for the market overall. Can Bitcoin reach 40 grand? I think that's the question. I think the market makers are inching us closer as they're trying to liquidate as much as they can in the meantime. And that's ultimately what I'm seeing. But I think that we might see that push here over this week, especially with the holidays and things. We'll see. I need to go look back and see what exactly typically happens during the Thanksgiving months as it relates to the trading prices of things. But yeah, make sure you guys bookmark, subscribe to my Cardano, my Project Catalyst project here. It's not really getting many views. It's not getting a lot of anything, and people are saying that typically it has to start entering like the later stages before it starts picking up any real interest. And my developer's a little worried. He's like, it doesn't seem like anybody cares about what we're building. And I'm like, I think people do. I'm not sure what happens. I'm not sure how Project Catalyst works, but keep in mind, if you don't have an idea scale account, make sure you set one up. Okay, because you actually earn tokens, you earn Cardano by voting on projects that you like, and this will be a great opportunity. Honestly, whether you vote for Soblocks or you're looking and exploring other projects that merit your voting, you earn by voting. So it does not hurt at all. It can only help you to set up your idea scale account, link it to your wallet, get your little your voting passcode, and start ripping. When all of these start really kicking off, we've got 9 days, 18 hours, and 40 minutes until the next stage. So we got 9 days and 18 or 9 days, 18 hours. But bookmark it, subscribe to it. If you support me, if you support what I'm doing, listen, I've put 6 figures into SoBlocks already. Okay. Like, this has been a big investment on my part. And, you know, my developer is now basically working without pay because I'm like, listen, we got to get other stuff done. We have to turn this into some sort of monetized system, because, you know, pumping a lot of money into it in a bear market is not easy. So we're working on it, and he's still working on it. And we've got another team member that's also going to be helping and working on it. So if you support what we're trying to do in the mission of SoBlocks, make sure you show your support. I really do appreciate it. I also want to make a quick note. I am actually interested in Dex Hunter. I've messaged them. They're not interested in any long-term partnership, apparently, but should that day ever change, I'm definitely interested. I was going to buy some Dex tokens because they're currently valued at around 8 cents right now. And basically, if you don't know, and this isn't paid, they haven't given me anything. They're like, no, fuck off. No, I'm kidding. They didn't say anything like that. But I really kind of like this platform, and it's a Dex aggregator on the Cardano blockchain. And basically the way it works is when you're looking for a token to buy, it actually cross-references the pricing. It cross-references the pricing and liquidity across multiple platforms, such as MinSwap, ViFi, all of that. And then it ultimately, it kind of tiers you in based off of how much you're trying to get. And it'll say, okay, well, 20% of your order will go to this platform, 15% will go to that platform. And it's basically so you don't suffer as much slippage in your Dex orders. And I just find that fantastic, honestly. I'm sure there are others on other blockchains, but I don't know of any. Like, I don't think ViFi does this. I don't know. I haven't heard of any of those functionalities on ViFi, but I do know that they exist on Dex Hunter. And I thought, you know what, at 8 cents for a new Dex aggregation platform on Cardano, I'm probably going to be picking up some tokens here regardless. I almost bought some before I did this segment, but I figure I got busy. I got to go to the gym. I'll probably do it this afternoon if this little segment hasn't pumped the price too much. And honestly, I don't really feel comfortable buying into something just to turn right around that same afternoon and do a video on it. If it costs me a little bit more to get in when I want to, that's fine. I just feel it's safer. It's better. It's a little more, I don't know, moral, I guess, in a way, even though I am known to buy altcoins and then like just never touch them, regardless of what I do or how much a video of mine might pump the price. I mean, I've seen market caps go up $10 million in an afternoon because I did a video, and I still hold through. I don't dump. I don't sell. I mean, it is what it is, but that's not really what I'm here for, so I don't really do it. Crow tokens, I had to copy my policy ID. I actually sent it over to Dex Hunter. I'm like, I'm not finding my Crow tokens on here. What gives? So they're looking into that as well. Yeah, I'm trying to get, I really need to start taking a more active approach to getting Crow tokens listed on some more of these exchanges. Now we're going to go into some details here about Bitcoin, because Bitcoin market cap poised to hit $3.3 trillion with ESG fund inflows. This is pretty insane if you think about it, because ultimately the narrative at one point was that, you know, Bitcoin's bad for the environment and everything. And it's like, you know, it's funny how so much changes when someone like BlackRock starts to get involved. And then all of a sudden the narrative is completely turning on its head. And now they're entirely in support of Bitcoin. And they're basically saying that they can see a $3.3 trillion market capitalization for Bitcoin ultimately in this cycle is what it looks like, with around $23 trillion locked in ESG funds seeking sustainable investments. Bitcoin's current market cap of $724 billion presents a stark contrast to other institutional grade assets, usually measured in trillions of dollars. Commenters, including Willy Woo, have argued that Bitcoin needs to stay above 1 trillion before the institutions that hold the wealth of the nation states and or retirement funds feel comfortable investing in it. Now, you guys might remember 2 or 3 years ago, I did a video on what it would look like for just 5% of the retirement funds alone going into Bitcoin. And do you guys remember? I'm curious in chat how many of you remember that video and how much that would have taken Bitcoin. because I think I've titled the video $250,000 Bitcoin, but the reality was Bitcoin's price would have been much, much higher. I think it was almost like $500,000 of Bitcoin. And I titled the video much less because I thought 500,000 just sounded too insane. Well, I don't really think it's that insane anymore, folks, because it's actually starting to happen. It's starting to go down the way I predicted it very well could several years back. His analysis, supported by experts like Willy Woo, proposes that a mere 1% allocation from ESG funds to Bitcoin could increase its market cap to approximately $1.68 trillion. And keep in mind, the entire crypto market capitalization was $1 trillion last cycle. This is talking about 1.6 trillion directly to Bitcoin. An aspirational goal of 2.5% allocation could potentially skyrocket the market cap to around $3.3 trillion. Now, again, this is talking strictly Bitcoin. If all of this money were to go directly into Bitcoin, they're looking at $3.3 trillion. Now, this Jamie Couts CMT, I followed him on Twitter. As the crypto asset class heads towards an $8 trillion to $10 trillion this cycle, I expect to see the proliferation of systematic and factor-based strategies. Watch for funds with proven out-of-sample returns and 2 cycles under their belt to go from a sub $25 million to $500 million to $1 billion AUM. And basically what he's saying is everything, the frameworks are being laid for the market capitalization of the cryptocurrency to go up to $10 trillion. And I was kind of figuring things out a little bit. And so I started crunching a little bit of numbers, and I was just kind of curious because anytime I see the narrative change, I get a little curious as to what that could potentially mean for the crypto market. And obviously, of course, Cardano as a whole. Currently, Bitcoin's dominance is sitting at 52.56%. And that's pretty good, right? And you know, if we're looking at it on a chart, this is Bitcoin's dominance, and we can see how it's fluctuated quite a bit over time. If we look at it on a weekly scale here, this goes all the way back to 2014. You can see here in the 2017 market, in February, it was pretty much at a peak, okay, at around 96%. And as we got into 2016, 2017, we peaked out here November 17th. That was around when I first got into crypto, okay? This was like I did my first video in hell, I don't know, it might have been November 17th. I don't even remember. You guys would have to check. But ultimately we saw March 2017, it was at a peak, and then it just started to drop. Why did it drop? Well, it started dropping substantially because of the ICO market. Ethereum creating this ICO market where people were just FOMOing into everything. And so all of these altcoins were accumulating all of this lost dominance in Bitcoin's value at the time. And as it continued to move forward, the entire market rose, but this is just Bitcoin's dominance. And I just got a notification here that I'm wondering if this is this what I think it is? Hold on, because I think I just got an alert that my crypto crow indicator may very well be done. Let's take a look. I have to look at it. Let's see. So this is not my landing page. So I'm not sure what's going on, but my new landing page should be coming soon. And then I'll show it off and I'll show you all the features and functions of that. But I had to check it live while I'm live. So anyway, Bitcoin's dominance has been rising a little bit, right? And what do we typically see? Well, in the last market cycle, can I make this full screen? I guess so, kind of, sort of. What is this? Is this, hold on. Okay, that's not it. This is it. Bitcoin dominance chart. All right, so I'll make this full screen. So basically what this is showing is Cardano, and it's difficult to see. But this is Cardano, you know, and I'm just going to have to go smaller screen for this. Sorry, folks, because it's just, I know you can't see it. So in here, we're seeing Cardano's market dominance. Okay. Now we've got Bitcoin and Cardano. So Bitcoin's basically up here because it's not being compared to anything else. But ultimately, this is Cardano's dominance against Bitcoin over time. In the last market cycle, so this was September. Let's go to May. So around April, I called the market peak in April on Twitter, and then we were sitting at around 48.56% market dominance, and Cardano at the time was only 1.85%. But what happened after Bitcoin peaked? Well, everybody made their money in Bitcoin, and then it started pumping into Cardano. And so what we saw over this term was Bitcoin drop in dominance and Cardano rose. Cardano rose to over 4% dominance. At one point, I think it was even close to 5. Maybe it's 4.2%. Hold on. Welcome to live, folks. So what I did was I started playing with numbers. And I thought, okay, if we got to a $10 trillion market capitalization, what would that mean for Bitcoin's price? And hold on a second. So yeah, so basically what happens is you got 45 billion tokens in Cardano's max supply, total supply. Circulating supply is still only about 35 billion. So there's 10 more to go. But yeah, I keep getting these messages. Hold on. Okay, hold on. I got to pull this up for the dev. Hold on. I'm trying to troubleshoot some stuff while I'm live because I want to show this to everybody, but it's not letting me. And I need to make sure he sees this quickly. I wasn't planning on showing it, but all right. I might show it off tomorrow. I don't know. We'll see. So anyway, I was calculating the numbers, and ultimately 5%. Let's just say, because you know when Cardano rose up before in the last cycle, we were just getting things going. Like we were just getting ready to get smart contracts. I mean, we were just getting all of this stuff. Now we have it, and it's been growing. TVL's been growing. The amount staked has been doing very well. Has not suffered that much. I mean, over the bear market, I think the total percentage of staked Cardano was much lower or much higher, and it hasn't dropped that much. So anyway, you're looking at like $500 billion. Okay, so if the total market capitalization happened to get to 10 million, because of all of the big institutions, all the whales, everybody just going in like mad monkeys, basically, then that could potentially get Cardano's market cap to $500 billion, which we really shouldn't scoff at. That's a pretty big deal. And if we divide that $500 billion by the total supply of 45 billion tokens, we end up with $11, folks. So, you know, the idea that, you know, Cardano can hit $6-8 this cycle, I think is not only very, very possible. I feel it's very likely. Do we wick up to maybe a $10 or something? We could, maybe 9. I don't know. Honestly, anything is possible at this point. And, you know, if you were to look at the total circulating supply, here's the thing. Let's say that, because I think right now it's like 68% of all Cardano is delegated to staking nodes, right? So if 68% of that is delegated, then, you know, you've got maybe 40% of the circulating supply on the market. So potentially speaking, the inflows of that capital leaving Bitcoin's dominance or just entering the space altogether from you know, such a high it could send Cardano up to 20, 30 fucking dollars, people. And you know, how is that possible? You're like, Crow, you're absolutely insane. That's not what the reality is that the market capitalization is dictated by the circulating supply being traded on the market. If there's more demand in the price than there are people willing to sell, then that price can continue to rise dramatically. If $500 billion were to enter the Cardano market and it's only pushing up the price based off of the circulating supply or the available supply on exchanges, no, I'm not giving false hope, asshole. I'm just being straight up. The reality is that $500 billion is pushing the price up based off of what's available on exchanges. From there, the balance comes from those who are willing to sell at these increasing prices. So what I've seen about a 10% drop from the height of the market in the number of people that have been delegating their Cardano. Okay. So people aren't giving it up is my point. And if so few people are willing to give up their Cardano at higher price points and they're not willing to sell it at a peak or at a height of a market watching the price fall, it means they're committed long term. They're waiting for much, much higher prices. So from there, as the money's pumping into the available supply on exchanges, and that's all there is because the Cardano holders are holding out long term. I know a lot of people are holding Cardano and staking it over time because they look at it as their retirement account. Yes, that's a fact. And I talk to these people a lot. They're holding Cardano long-term, 10-year cycles, 10 plus years. When I'm ready to retire, my Cardano will be there. That is the faith that Cardano holders have. This isn't about a quick buck or a quick speculation trade. So when you look at the grand scheme of things and you look at it logically, the sky is absolutely the limit for Cardano. And here's the thing. You know, I'm seeing the guy in the comments trying to be like, oh, you're full of shit, basically. This is going to be true for a lot of crypto in the market, not just Cardano. That's why TVL matters, okay? TVL matters, staking matters. And if you look at the numbers and the metrics, they don't lie. You can look at the Cardano metrics and see people aren't giving up their ADA at any price. People are holding through the roughest of times. In the roughest periods of the world, they're not moving their Cardano. They're not taking it off of their staking and selling it because they need cash. People are buying Cardano for a reason, more reasons than one. The difference between what I see in Cardano's metrics on chain and off and what's going on in the ecosystem is that the people that are getting into Cardano are not the same mentality as the people that are getting into stuff like Solana and some of these other projects. They're buying it on FOMO. They're dumping as soon as they see an opportunity to dump at profit, and they're real proud of themselves. And listen, you should be. I'm not knocking you. I'm saying that the mentality overall is different. And I personally will be very, very interested to see how the peak of this next market cycle transitions and transpires, because I'm not seeing a lot of people dumping less than $8 to $10 anyway. And if they do, then it will suppress the price and it will keep things down. But if the momentum is so high that, you know, a mass amounts of money, and here's the thing, Bitcoin's going to peak first. So it's not even just going to be a question of how much does Cardano or any other cryptocurrency in the market cycle. It's not even a matter of whether they peak or they reach original all-time highs or any of that. I think we're going to see that a lot. I think we're going to see a lot of cryptocurrencies reach their original all-time high and far surpass them in this cycle. But, you know, that's where my head's at. That's what I'm thinking. And, you know, am I planning to sell at a certain price point? Absolutely. I'm planning to sell my Cardano as close to the peak of a market as I can and then basically buy back what I sold at a much lower price and live my life. And then maybe I let that go for the next 20 years. But I'm still trying to establish myself, and I'm still trying to play these cycles for my financial benefit. That's just me being honest. You know, I basically pay taxes about once every 4 years because I have a big tax bill about every 4 years because I don't sell anything. I don't have anything. I pay all my taxes at once. I live my life, and then I wait for the next cycle, and I rinse and repeat that. And it's just like, you know, yeah, I don't know any other way of looking at it. So yeah, let's see here. Let me see. If you have this high expectations, you could get disappointed. That's what I'm saying. I'm not going to be disappointed, and these aren't really expectations. I think that this is what is possible. I'm not saying I expect to see a $20 Cardano. I'm saying that given the metrics and what I see in the ecosystem, what I see in staking, what I see and have seen and watched basically now for years since the peak of 2021, people are not letting go of their ADA, and it doesn't matter what the fuck is going on in the market. It doesn't matter what is going on in the world. It's not like a lot of these other tokens and projects out there. That's what I'm trying to express. I'm saying that, I've made premature price predictions in Cardano in the past, when it was 2 cents, and I said I think it could get to $8. Well, you know what? It didn't get anywhere close to $8. It got to $3.14, but millionaires were still made. And in this market cycle, I'm saying I've been saying for probably a year and a half now that every time I crunch numbers, any way I look at Cardano, any way I look at the potential price action of Cardano in this peak, I always get flashed with an $8, a $7.45 to $8 figure. And to get to that point, the expectation probably should be higher because we may wick higher, but a lot of people aren't going to catch that wick, right? And so I'm just saying, I think anything is possible in this cycle. If the cryptocurrency market were to get to $10 trillion when the last one basically just broke above 1 trillion, and we're looking at 10 times the volume going into the crypto space, as real world assets continue to get tokenized, as the traditional stock market, I'm sure, is going to be tokenized. And so many of these major things that are ultimately funneling and filtering through from the rest of the world, the fiat money, all of these different investment vehicles transitioning into the crypto market. Yeah, you're damn right. At some point, we're going to see a $10 trillion market cap. The question is are we going to see that over the next year and a half or not? Maybe we don't. But I know that once these ETFs start flying through with a lot of these major players like BlackRock and ARK and all the rest of them, people, I'm telling you, we're still in the infancy of the blockchain space. And I know that a lot of us have been around a while. I know a lot of you watching my channel on a regular basis for years. I see Crypto Grady. I had no idea he's been watching me since 2017. I know so many other YouTubers that have been watching me since 2018, 2017. Hell, Altcoin Daily, they started their channel watching my channel. And I didn't know that until I met the brothers in an event. And they're telling me, like, you're an inspiration. We loved your work. We loved everything you did and inspired us to start our channel. So many of us have been around now since 2017 and some even before. And we've seen everything that's been happening. And so, like, sometimes my predictions might sound crazy, but the reality is it's not a matter of if to me, it's a matter of when. Timing is what is most important. And the timing of what's going on in the cryptocurrency space right now is the fact that the institutions have been laying down their framework, building their systems, building their investment vehicles for years now. Even when JP Morgan and Jamie Dimon and these guys, when they were basically threatening their employees, if you hold Bitcoin, you're getting fired, they're building trading desks. They're building their own investment vehicles under the radar. So they're trying to suppress the price because they weren't ready to get in yet. And that's what the whales do. They suppress price. They manipulate as much as they can. And what's the thing about the cryptocurrency space? If you look at it from this perspective, if the SEC were to come out, yeah, they can say anything as a security. Doesn't mean that it is, right? But if they don't put out any real legitimate framework and they just leave everything in this gray area, what does that also say? That says that the major institutions that have relationships with any of these major groups or regulatory bodies can do whatever the hell they want to line themselves properly with the cryptocurrency market without really having to worry much about penalization. And if they do get any kind of little slaps on the wrist, that's just a part of daily business. That's just like paying taxes. It's a part of business. You have to suck it up and you deal with it and you move on and you try to make more money and do better the next time around. And that's just the way these guys think. How many major corporations do we know have paid millions and millions and millions of dollars in regular fines and fees for all sorts of fraud or, you know, hidden fees or all the ways they screw consumers. They're never shut down. They just have to pay the piper. They have to pay what I consider the fraudulent company tax. And that's just the way it is for a lot of these folks. And the thing of it is they can go in and they can push and they can say Bitcoin's bad while they're accumulating, building trading desks, doing whatever they want, and then turn around and about face when they're in it. The same way BlackRock has just been like, oh, it's bad for the environment, it's bad for everything. And now they're trying to launch an ETF, and suddenly it's the best thing since sliced bread, and it's saving everybody power, and it's doing all of these different things. You know, Cardano is better for the environment than Bitcoin is. It's proof of freaking stake, folks. It's like you're not burning up hardware. You're not, you know, there's so many different elements to all of these different cryptos, and they all have their purpose. But overall, yeah, and I know I'm totally rambling, but I'm just trying to basically get across that absolutely anything is possible in this current market cycle. And I really believe that just about anything is going to happen. And so for me, when I'm always trying to nail what I think the peak price of Cardano is going to be. And I just share what I'm thinking with you guys. I'm not trying to project. I'm not trying to gaslight. I'm not trying to get you guys overhyped. I'm just trying to say that this is the kind of shit that I figure out on my own, and I work it out. I see something new and I'm like, and I work out the numbers of what that might mean. And then I share that with you. That's it. You know, I don't really give a shit, you know, if people buy Cardano. You can buy Solana for all I care. That's entirely up to what makes you feel good and inspires you to take more action in the cryptocurrency space. I just happen to love Cardano. It's the only one I truly trust anymore. And that's just, you know, outside of Bitcoin, obviously I trust Bitcoin and I love Bitcoin, but, you know, and I just try to share my thoughts. That's it. That's all I'm really doing. And that's all I'm going to continue to do, through 2025. I just want to educate, let you guys know this is what I'm thinking may very well happen. These are all possibilities. So don't, don't shun, but you know what? I'm gonna be straight up. You know, Solana could go to the freaking moon too. Anything could happen. All right. So I'll just leave it at that. I got to get to the gym. I'm such a wreck. I'm so sore. You have no idea. I posted some videos on Twitter. I've like aggressively done some shit over the last couple days. I can barely even stretch my arms flat. I'm my neck is all tight. I'm like, so today's leg day. Wish me well. Until next time, guys, crow your coins. Thanks for joining me. I'll see you soon.